Welcome back to Hollywood Spotlight, where timeless legends finally get the space to tell the truth behind the fame, the music, and the myths. At 91, Pat Boone has reached a point in life where honesty matters more than image. There's no need to polish memories or protect old industry politics anymore. When Boone speaks today, he speaks plainly, and when he talks about Roy Orbison, his words carry decades of reflection, admiration, and quiet truth. Pat Boone was born on June 1, 1934, in Jacksonville, Florida, and rose to fame during the 1950s as one of America's most recognizable pop stars. Clean-cut, soft-spoken, and reassuringly safe, Boone represented the version of rock and pop that parents approved of. His records sold by the millions, his face filled television screens, and his career seemed perfectly aligned with mainstream success. But at the same time, another voice was emerging, one that didn't fit the mold. Roy Orbison, born on April 23, 1936, in Vernon, Texas, was unlike anyone else in the music business. He didn't dance. He didn't smile. He didn't charm the audience in traditional ways. Instead, he stood still behind dark sunglasses and delivered songs filled with longing, heartbreak, and emotional intensity. Pat Boone later admitted, "Even back then, Roy stood apart. While the rest of us tried to look confident and happy, he sang what people were afraid to feel." On Hollywood Spotlight, it's important to understand that Boone and Orbison weren't rivals in the usual sense. They occupied the same era, but not the same emotional space. Boone's music was comforting and familiar. Orbison's music was haunting and deeply personal. In the early years, the industry didn't quite know what to do with Roy Orbison. Executives questioned his appearance, his lack of movement on stage, and his refusal to perform like a typical pop star. Boone recalled hearing people say, "He doesn't even look at the audience. How can he be a star?" But Boone now believes that was exactly Roy's power. Orbison's voice, wide-ranging, operatic, and painfully vulnerable, could communicate sorrow and longing in a way few singers ever could. Songs like "Only the Lonely," "Crying," "In Dreams," and later, "Oh, Pretty Woman" weren't just hits, they were emotional confessions set to music. Roy sang pain with honesty, Boone said. He wasn't pretending. He was exposing something real. Boone also acknowledged something few artists admit out loud: there was a quiet tension created by comparison. Boone was celebrated for chart success and mass appeal. Orbison, meanwhile, earned something deeper, lasting respect from musicians and listeners alike. "I had popularity," Boone admitted. Roy had depth. And depth lasts longer. The truth, Boone says, is that many artists of his generation recognized Orbison's extraordinary talent, even if they didn't fully understand it at the time. While Boone enjoyed radio-friendly hits and television appearances, Orbison was crafting music that would age with dignity and emotional relevance. Then came the tragedies. Roy Orbison's life offstage was marked by profound loss. In 1966, his wife Claudette was killed in a motorcycle accident. Just 2 years later, in 1968, Orbison lost 2 of his sons in a house fire. These events shattered him, but they also deepened the emotional weight of his music. Pat Boone spoke about this with visible respect. "Roy didn't just sing heartbreak," he said. "He lived it." On Hollywood Spotlight, this is where Boone's honesty becomes most powerful. He admitted that while trends shifted and musical tastes changed, Orbison's work never lost its emotional grip. New generations kept discovering Roy's songs and feeling their impact instantly. Some music belongs to its time, Boone reflected. Roy's music belongs to human emotion. That never expires. At 91, Boone finally said what many believed but few from his era openly stated. Roy Orbison was the greatest singer among us. That statement wasn't humility, it was truth. Boone clarified that he never resented Orbison. If anything, he respected him deeply. The difference was that Boone's career thrived on safety and structure, while Orbison's thrived on vulnerability and emotional risk. Roy didn't chase fame, Boone said. He chased honesty. Today, Roy Orbison is remembered alongside legends like Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash, not just as a hitmaker, but as an artist who changed how emotion could be expressed in popular music. His influence can still be heard in modern singers who prioritize feeling over performance. Pat Boone understands that legacy now better than ever. When history looks back, Boone concluded, they won't remember who sold more records. They'll remember who made them feel something. And that, according to Pat Boone, is the real truth about Roy Orbison. Here on Hollywood Spotlight, we don't just revisit the past, we let the legends speak for themselves.